Hey gamers, it's Kwing here, and if you guys haven't subscribed to the game nights already, please do so by clicking the link underneath the subscription tab. Thanks for your time and enjoy the review. God bless.
Kwing, the real game master.
Hey, what's up gamers, it's Kwing here, and I'm bringing you my first review of a PS3 and 360 title. The long-awaited Street Fighter IV review for GotGame.com. It's been a good 8 years since the last official Street Fighter release. So is Street Fighter back like the good old days, or is the series a reboot that falls flat on its face? You'll have to watch my review to find out. Let's get started, shall we? Just like the Alpha series, the main focus is around Ryu and stealing his powers. The organization known as Shadow Law has gone into hiding after the destruction of N. Bison. Seth sets up the next tournament in order to track Ryu and the other fighters to the stage once more. Guile and Chun-Li team up once again to investigate this new, mysterious organization. Back in the States, Ken is reluctant to face Ryu again because Elsa is nearing the end of her pregnancy. However, his loving wife tells him that she'll be fine and wants him to have a rematch with Ryu. Each fighter prepares for battle to prove themselves to the world once more, and Ryu, the wandering warrior, sets out for another battle to please his own soul. Street Fighter has always been about fighting. After 22 years, you think people would be sick of it. I'm happy to say that I'm not done with Street Fighter and never will be. Street Fighter IV abandons the Street Fighter III mechanic and goes back to what made the series so famous to begin with, the Street Fighter II gameplay. Yeah, baby. This game reunites the original 12 characters and brings back 4 Alpha and 3 Super Street Fighters at the same time. This game is broken into different modes. You have Arcade, which takes you through the character's story arc, and the final showdown with Seth, whom looks like a giant evil blue Smurf. Versus mode is where you can play with another player, and of course you have online mode where you can play online battles, and they're pretty fun. Although I have no footage to show online matches. How sad. Anyway, Versus mode is what made Street Fighter the household name it is today. Super moves are nothing new to the series, although Ultra Combos are, or rather revenge techniques. In order to do these, you have to fill up your revenge meter, and then once it's full, release your revenge on your opponent. Just hope you don't miss. Online fights are okay, but there's just something about fighting the guy or gal who's sitting next to you. You must defeat my Dragon Punch to stand a chance! Haha, that line never gets old. Challenge mode has a few extra modes as well. Time attack pits you against a slew of fighters, and your main foe is the clock. Survival mode has you fight to see who the last fighter standing is, and in these modes you can unlock character art, different colors for your characters, and sometimes costumes, or you can just download downloadable content. Still, the main focus of Street Fighter is to fight. And let me tell you, there are very few game series that have captivated the world the way that Street Fighter II has. It's nice to see your favorite fighters reborn for the next generation of gamers. Still, we veteran Street Fighters are no pushovers online either, so be warned. Still, there's nothing like playing this game in the arcades. But that's a review for another day. That'd be cool if I could review the arcade game, but the system one isn't that bad. Anyway, we're moving on. I'm actually going to keep this very simple and just talk about the gameplay for once. I'm sorry, but Mortal Kombat has nothing on the Street Fighter series. And Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the Game Boy Advance, I play it like twice a week, so I was in top form for this game, as you can tell. However, me being the most honest reviewer on the net, I do have some gripes with the actual gameplay mechanic for this game, but nothing that's going to deter you guys from actually purchasing this game and really enjoying it. From what I've played of this game, I did enjoy it, and I did like how they made the moves a lot easier and faster to do compared to the original Street Fighter II. I was also happy to see more alpha mechanics alive and well as well, and was most pleased that the Street Fighter III parry system is dead and gone. However, I was rather annoyed with the PS3 and 360 controllers, and I wish that my friend had an arcade stick to play this game with. Sure, the next-gen controllers are awesome, but they got nothing on the SNES controller, or better yet, a real arcade stick. Other than that, this game's gameplay has improved a lot in the last 8 years, and it's still a great Street Fighter game to say the least. First off, I really like the look of the game and the characters themselves, and I think that it's very similar to the stylized Zoom-E paintings in Japan. And Sachiharu, if you're listening, I hope I said that right. The ink effects are a nice touch instead of blood too, and I love the background and foreground detail especially. Although to be fair, I wasn't a fan of Ryu's character model. For me, he looks like an old man and he's supposed to be in his late 20s. That's just lame. Other than that, the game looks really amazing, and I truly mean that. Playing the first minute of this game, you could see why the Wii or PS2 could not handle this type of game. The design of the characters looks like they did in Street Fighter 2, except more anime inspired, and I think it suits them. The game looks great in high definition, although my computer is not capable of capturing HD, so I apologize for that. Although your donations could help with that. Anyway, it's time for me to talk about my favorite stage, and that award goes to the Volcano stage. So crisp with bright colors and intricate detail. And it just looks really cool. Well, I did enjoy the game's music, most of it, although I was annoyed that the characters' themes only kicked in during rival matches, which is a real shame to say the least, especially with someone who grew up with Street Fighter, but I digress. The music is very fitting for the atmospheres of the level, and the sound effects are really good, although it's nothing new that we've heard in the series. Still, I do miss the original sound effects from Street Fighter 2, so you can call me nuts on that. I don't care. I'm most impressed with the voice actors for this game, and I feel that they brought the characters to life. To wrap up, the stage music is good, but the character themes are better, and the sound effects are okay, and the voice acting is wicked epic. Everybody should know what Street Fighter is by now. I mean, it's been 2 decades of it, from Street Fighter 2, Alpha, Street Fighter 3, and EX. Street Fighter started in the arcades in 1987, where players could play as either Ryu or Ken, and Street Fighter 2 hit in 1991 and was a stellar hit worldwide. What made this game so popular was the Super Nintendo. As of November 2008, Street Fighter 2 is the second highest grossing fighting game of all time at 7 million copies sold. Street Fighter 2 Turbo is my favorite Street Fighter 2 game. In fact, I did a review of it last year, so be sure to check it out. Street Fighter Alpha was the next in the series, and it was a prequel to Street Fighter 2. It introduced easier super moves and different modes, as well as character backstories. And my favorite Street Fighter game, and many fans' favorite worldwide, is Street Fighter Alpha 3. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Remix is the Super Street Fighter 2 remake for the PS3 and 360 in 2008. A year earlier at the Tokyo Game Show 2007, Capcom revealed a movie where Ryu and Ken were sparring in 3D. However, this is not the first 3D Street Fighter game. That honor, unfortunately, goes to the EX series on the PlayStation. Although it is the first Street Fighter game to tell the character stories in full, breathtaking anime cutscenes. Unlike past Street Fighter games that use still images and the occasional moving pictures, the anime in this game is pretty awesome, and rumor has it that a famous anime studio did the animation. And Street Fighter 4 is definitely a love letter to true Street Fighter fans all over the world, and it's nice to see the series in the 21st century. For the home version of Street Fighter 4, new characters were added like alpha characters Sakura, Gen, Rose, Dan, and Super Street Fighter characters like Fei Long, Cammy, and Akuma return. However, they also introduced the infamous Shen Long. Now this character started as a mistranslation in Street Fighter 2 in the US when Ryo says you must defeat Shen Long to stand a chance. Magazine, as an April Fool's article, they said you could fight Shen Long. In '93, the Street Fighter manga said Shen Long was Ryu and Ken's master, but that Bison had killed him. During the hype of Street Fighter 3 in 1997, Shen Long returned again by EGM as another April Fool's Day special, and the public fell for it again, as did yours truly. But Shen Long did appear under the name Gouken, Goki's brother, in Street Fighter 4, and man is he awesome.